Yes, we have a few things to talk about, specifically the 19th of August. It is a, shall we say, complicated kind of day. And what it is bringing so many different planets into these really strange alignments that could lead to some friction, some opposition, some challenges in life. But oftentimes, these challenges are necessary for forward motion, forward movement, for things to actually happen. We have to have a few puzzles to solve. Let's just pull up the chart. Looking at this sucker, you got a lot of red, heavy red lines there, if you notice. Now, not only is this the day of the Aquarius full moon, it is also a day where Saturn and Jupiter are squaring up, and we also have Venus coming in an opposition to Saturn and a square to Jupiter. So that's very interesting. In the meantime, we've got the Sun with a Mercury cazimi crossing over to the Moon in Aquarius, squaring up with Uranus. So let's just put it out there that this is a complicated day. We're going to break this up a little bit, and mostly today I'm going to be talking about Saturn and Jupiter together, so we can kind of pull that out to understand what's so important about that. Well, they're the two biggest planets in our solar system, and they're representing something that's kind of dualistically opposite. We have optimism and realism. And so when they square up, it's like a battle of being in a boxing ring kind of thing. And it's like both of them want their side to win, but what really needs to happen is from that fight, there's some sort of resolution instead of a battle where they both kind of give a little and get a little. The ultimate purpose of any kind of square aspect is to create an opportunity for something new to be born. Through friction, something different comes out on the other side. This Jupiter-Saturn thing is a big cycle. It started in 2020 when they had their conjunction. I don't know if you remember that, but it was kind of a big deal. It was December of 2020, I think it was at 0 degrees Aquarius. This is the first major aspect since then of Jupiter and Saturn together. The square is the first quarter, like if you think about a game or the first quarter of financial stuff or whatever. It's the first time where you get this like market feedback. What has worked? What has not worked? What do we need to continue about this energy of optimism and realism? And what needs to be fixed? The thing to note is, even though this might look a little freaky and scary, especially with the Jupiter-Saturn and Venus coming in, all this square and opposition stuff, is that they're all immutable signs. Mutable signs are the ones that are the most flexible. Jupiter is in Gemini, and it's not necessarily its favorite place to be. Venus is up in Virgo, also not its favorite place to be. I'm just talking about dignity scheme. Planets have certain signs that they rule and certain signs that they are in a foreign land where they're just not comfortable. It's different. When a planet is in detriment or when it's outside of its comfort zone, I think it's an opportunity for the planet to show a different side of itself and to not be so obvious, be a little more subtle. And Jupiter in Gemini is ruling where Saturn is. Saturn's over in Pisces, hanging out in Jupiter's hometown. And so even though they're squaring off, there's some sort of reception there as well, because Jupiter is also ruling Saturn. So that kind of takes over the more difficult aspect, and Saturn in Pisces is a little more chill than normal because it's taking a break. Saturn has been in Capricorn and then Aquarius. So Saturn, when it gets to Pisces, is just like, bro, I'm gonna take a little chill pill here. It is a challenging thing, but it's not necessarily the worst case scenario. Let's put it that way. Whoa, my phone is really going off. All right. So I'm not sure what I was saying there. My kids are coming home this next week, and so this week is going to be a busy week coming up, and all these things are happening astrologically. So this is just another example. It's not necessarily bad. Anything that comes through, like I just really want to reiterate that so strongly, is that when you see scary-ish astrology, you see T-squares all over the place. Yeah, sometimes life is like that, and sometimes life can be really hard, and we see everything going on in the world, and it's challenging. But sometimes you're going to get one side of the bell curve, which is extreme, or the other side, which is extremely not bad at all. And most of it is somewhere in the middle. And that could just be, it's a busy week, or it's a challenging week, or, you have to be more flexible than you have been in the past. That's just one of the iterations of what it could be. The timeline for Jupiter-Saturn squares. The first one is happening August 19th, 2024. It's a series of 3 due to that retrogradation. The second one occurs December 24th, 2024, just in time for Christmas, but also Gemini and Pisces. That'll be at 14 degrees. And the third final square will be June 15th, 2025, and that's after they've moved into Cancer and Aries. So that will be a completely different flavor. That's going to be cardinal energy. It'll be Jupiter at 1 degree Cancer and Saturn at 1 degree Aries. So really the beginning of a new era, I'm thinking, in that time period. Let's talk about Saturn versus Jupiter. Now, we've talked a little bit about how Jupiter is optimism, buoyancy, joyful exuberance, moving forward and getting things done, goals, ideas, thoughts, okay? And then Saturn is always kind of thought of as the wet blanket, where it's like the Eeyore kind of energy, like, but it's not necessarily. Jupiter, yeah, it's going to be more charismatic. We're going to be drawn to it a little bit more because it's a lot more fun than Saturn stuff. Saturn stuff is rules, restrictions, boundaries. Okay. So this last week I went to a concert. We went to see the Foo Fighters. I'll be fully honest with you. I'm not a huge Foo fan. I don't even know what they're called. Foo Fighter fan. Say that 3 times fast. I'm not a huge Foo Fighter fan to listen to their music on an everyday basis, but I did go to their concert in 2015 and it was a lot of fun. I mean, just because Dave Grohl is like extremely charismatic. He's very Jupiterian. Do you love rock and roll? He's incredible live. The place is packed. They start their concert and the whole entire audience is totally into it. The moment comes when he's introducing the band and they have a new drummer who, of course, has to be awesome. Has to be an awesome drummer. So they introduce him and he plays this incredible drum thing from 9 Inch Nails, which is the band he was in. The drums hold everything together. And I'm looking at this guy killing it on the drums, you know, super strong, super powerful. But the drummer is not somebody that's out in the front. The drummer is holding the whole structure of the song together from the back. Doesn't get up, doesn't move about, doesn't get to run around with the guitar and kick their little leg up or anything. It's structural. And so the drummer is Saturn. Saturn's holding it all together. And Dave Grohl, who's like a magnet, you know, a magnet of personality. You just want to listen to him and watch him and all the things that he does, is very Jupiter. But together they make something even better than the sum of their parts. Together they make magic. Another example that I can give you is from the cartoon The Lion King. So like Simba, the baby, when he's little, he's like Jupiter because he has big dreams. He just can't wait to be king and he wants to make his dad proud and he has all this energy and excitement about the future. That's like Jupiter, has big ideas, has optimism. And then there's this bird that's called Zazu and he's Saturn. He's the advisor to the king and he just wants this kid to be safe and reminds him to follow the rules and that he has to be practical and careful. And that's just like Saturn, to be responsible and realistic. Simba finds Zazu very annoying. And it's true, Zazu is annoying. It's an annoying character. But Zazu is just really trying to help Simba and help him make some smart choices and be in reality. So Jupiter-Saturn square is like 2 completely different personalities thinking that they know best. And one wants to do one thing and one wants to do another. But in that situation, both are important. If we looked at Simba listening to Zazu, oh gosh, this is a weird analogy. Okay, whatever. It's great to have big dreams like Simba does, but it's also important to be careful and listen to reason. And so that's a balance between dreaming and being smart. Okay, back to Dave Grohl for a minute. One moment in the whole entire concert that was so extraordinary was when he got the entire audience ready to sing probably his most famous song. It's called My Hero. Use that evidence, race you around. He gets the whole audience singing along, especially at the chorus.
Ready?
And I literally found myself tearing up. There were 40,000 people in there singing this song.
There goes my hero. He's ordinary.
And you could just feel the power of 40,000 people working together to create a moment of beauty. It was extremely beautiful. So I come home and I'm like, what is that song even about? Because you can think of it multiple ways. So he goes, it's 1999. He's sitting there with actually Taylor Hawkins, and he's going to play on the acoustic guitar. And Howard Stern's like, oh, we all know it's about Kurt Cobain. And Girl just kind of squivels his nose up, and he's like, well, actually, it's not about him. And it's about the fact that ordinary people can be heroes, and anybody can be extraordinary and can be your hero. And oh my gosh, I'm gonna get emotional about this. But it's so true. Anybody can be extraordinary, and anybody can be your hero. You can be someone's hero. And we all are just ordinary. Even an extraordinary person is really just an ordinary person. There goes my hero. He's ordinary. It's like it's your grandpa, or it's your whatever. It's powerful. It's powerful. So what does it mean? Man, I don't know. My thought at this point is to just keep observing, keep being open, not to be too Saturnian, where you think you know it all, or too Jupiterian, where you think you know it all in another way. The Saturn, where it's just closing everything down and wanting to boundary everything up, and the Jupiter, which is like no boundaries. I want everything all the time, all at once. No, there's a blend. It's a square. And overwhelmingly, it's about being open to surrendering to the universe, the flow of life, just being there and witnessing, and trying not to fight against inertia too much. You know, be strong in yourself, in your own beliefs, keep learning, but be open. That's what is missing in so many of our issues that we get globally, is not being open to the fact that there is a possibility that you could be completely wrong, and there's a possibility that you could be completely right, but most likely you're a little bit of both. Everybody's a little bit of both. Ooh, okay, I better quit now. I like you just the way you are. I really do, and I wish you the best always. Okay, that's all I got. I'll talk to you next time.